Hello, it's wonderful to have you join us on Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Najat Tijani. Remember, this broadcast is being streamed live on our website, nta.ng/live, and do follow us on all our social media platforms displayed on the screen for updates. Let's begin with news from Portugal. President Muhammadu Buhari says the federal government will not compromise on the welfare, well-being and security of Nigerians at home and in the diaspora. Exchanging views with a cross-section of Nigerians in Portugal, the president was emphatic that the prevailing challenges bedeviling the country notwithstanding, his administration will remain conscientiously alive to its responsibilities till the last day in office. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
I'm delighted to be in the midst of fellow Nigerians in diaspora.
It is an engagement President Muhammadu Buhari enjoys having with the nation's citizens while on foreign trips. Gathered here to exchange views with him on matters affecting them and developments back home are Nigerian professionals in various fields of human endeavor as well as students across the European nation. Describing the diaspora community as veritable engine for growth and development, the president said the federal government values their huge contributions to Nigeria's economy.
In every field of human endeavor, Nigerians in the diaspora have thrived and leveraged on their skills to raise our country's profile higher, economically, socially, technologically, and culturally. You must continue to be our ambassadors at large in your comportment, actions, and character. You must excel and be the best in all your endeavors. While here, you must also not forget home, as you are the example we want to project to the rest of the world.
President Buhari is, however, of the strong view that although social media platforms empowered many Nigerians in the diaspora and gave them great influence, they must support efforts at curbing their excesses and preventing them from destabilizing the society.
As we have seen, social media can be a force for good as well as a force for evil. I therefore call upon you to use social media responsibly. We all want the best for our country and people, so let us strive to build, unite, and prosper our nation and people, and not insult and incite from a safe and anonymous distance.
On the 2023 elections, the president said his administration will do its best towards ensuring that INEC delivers peaceful, transparent, free, fair and credible elections next year as he looks forward to a smooth transition to the next government. Both the Nigerian ambassador to Portugal and leadership of the Nigerian community assured the president that the 3,000 Nigerians in Portugal are peaceful and law-abiding.
The mission will continue to work with the Nigerian community to encourage Nigerians to shun all forms of crime, considering the damage to the image of our beloved country.
This administration has, as one of its priority, the setting up of a Nigerian school, a Nigerian house, and a Nigerian hostel system to actually not just help our children, it will also establish our presence and our identity in Portugal.
The chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabri Erewa, coordinated the interactive engagement.
Look at everybody in this hall. They have their businesses here and also in Nigeria. So what government needs to do is encourage them and also support them one way or the other, because if others are investing in Nigeria, Nigerians in the diaspora should also be our first line of investors. And they are here. They're all over the world and they're doing that. So NIDCOM is driving that.
Gifts were presented to the Nigerian leader in appreciation of his visit and selfless service to the Nigerian nation. From Lisbon, Portugal, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Nigeria says it is committed to restoring the health and resilience of oceans through multilateralism at the UN Ocean Conference in Portugal, where Nigeria has also restated its commitment to supporting international instruments to protect the ocean.
Oceans are repositories of tremendous wealth for Nigeria in terms of natural capital and ecosystem services. These, Minister of State Environment Sharon Ikazo says, are critical for the livelihoods of the people, hence the commitment of the federal government to the African Union 2063 agenda and the attainment of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 14.
Nigeria is a member of the High Ambition Coalition for Nature and People and the Blue Leaders Campaign. The global community needs to agree to the effective protection of 30% of the global ocean by 2030 at CBD COP in December.
Addressing the 6th plenary of the UN Ocean Conference, Sharon Ikazo says Nigeria prioritizes SDG 14 with the creation of 2 marine protected areas, formulation of a national policy on plastic pollution, as well as establishment of the national roadmap on solid and plastic waste management.
In mainstreaming ocean into our economy, we have set a Vision 2050 and a medium-term development plan, with ocean being an integral part of it in our bid to realize the blue economy potential of Nigeria.
Nigeria, she says, has constituted a Presidential Committee on Sustainable Blue Economy. Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
Nigeria is maintaining its strategic leadership role and providing support to West Africa for enhanced stability, good governance and improved security. At the 48th ordinary session of the ECOWAS Ministerial Mediation and Security Council meeting in Accra, Ghana, where Nigeria has reiterated commitment to consistent integration among member nations. Foreign Desk correspondent Usman Aliu reports from Accra, Ghana.
In the heart of Accra, the Ghanaian capital, ECOWAS chairman and president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo's message, delivered by his Foreign Affairs Minister, and the one presented by President of ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Cassibro, provided the tonic for their convergence. It is one of the major engagements on stabilization policies of the ECOWAS to return countries within the sub-region that have their democracies truncated back on the track. The other most important subject for deliberation is the issue of security. ECOWAS is concerned with terrorism affecting the region and is looking at that deeply with a view to defeating it.
These attacks, which were known to have been limited to Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger and Nigeria, are now extending to some extent to countries such as Benin and Togo. So clearly there is a need for us to pool resources to ensure that we fight this menace collectively.
Since the first coup that occurred in Mali, we had about 11 number of ECOWAS extraordinary meetings. And during that time, the head of state twice gave directive to the president of the commission to review the ECOWAS protocol on good governance and democracy. And part of the review was to ensure that they introduce the issue of term limit.
This Council of Ministers engagement is prelude to a wide range of issues considered by the ECOWAS to deal with at the moment and subsequently. From Accra, Ghana, Usman Aliu, NTA News.
Back home in Nigeria, the attainment of personal excellence is a step-by-step process of improving oneself, ultimately for national development, as confirmed by speakers at the 2022 dialogue series of the Nigerian Prize for Leadership. Hamman Jabani reports.
Although the process is difficult and requires patience, it benefits those who want to live a successful and happy life. Excellence is to improve one's self-performance consistently and continuously so that one can improve every aspect of life.
Mediocre cultures will definitely yield underdevelopment, whereas Excellent cultures, excellent values will always give you a progressive society.
Excellence is a choice and not only a gate to our purpose, but also a bridge to our future and destiny.
Panelists say key to unlock excellence are the will to win, the desire to succeed, to believe in oneself.
It is about making a choice and understanding that the choice to be excellent is the truest form of you manifesting the purpose and the destiny that you have been given.
We have the human capital, but it is because of the penchant for mediocrity. We must institute quality assurance in everything we are doing and live up to the standards of excellence.
It starts from changing yourself. It starts from obeying the traffic rules. It starts from upgrading yourself. How can I do my job better?
They believe that one must be visionary to set up the games that promote growth and development according to trends and current patterns. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
And now to Islamic affairs. The president of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs and Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, has confirmed the sighting of the crescent moon for the month of Zulhijjah and has declared Thursday, 30th June, as 1st of Zulhijjah, 1443 after Hijrah. Consequently, Eid al-Kabir will be celebrated on Saturday, 9 July 2022, while Arafat will be on Friday, 8 July 2022. The Sultan hereby calls upon Muslims to intensify efforts in acts of worship during the first 10 days of the blessed month of Zulhijjah and to also pray for peace and stability and progress of the country. It's time now to join Hingino in Lagos to bring us more stories on army training for logistics experts and other reports. Hello, Hingino.
Thank you, Naja'atu. The successful completion of training of 70 logistics experts by the Nigerian Army will enhance the tactical and defense strategies in the fight against terrorists in the country. Commandant of the Ordnance Corps of the Army, General Ayobami Ibikunle, met the assertion at Agilete Training Camp in Ogun State. Samuel Johnson reports that the Army College of Logistics organized the training.
The arrow here points to the general direction of the North.
The importance of logistics planning in executing wars, including non-conventional ones, such as is the situation against terrorists in Nigeria, necessitated the training of these army personnel drawn from formations across the country. Having evaluated the trainees through interactions, the special guest at the end of training exercise, who is an expert in logistics, expressed satisfaction.
This is the final exercise in which they are being exercised on tactical and logistical aspects of operation. Nigerian Army College of Logistics is one of the colleges, a part of Army War College, training officers, middle level officers and senior officers, lieutenant colonel in logistics aspects of warfare.
Commandant of the Nigerian Army College of Logistics, Major General Martin Enendu, said with the additional experts in logistics for tactical and field attacks, battles against terrorists and protection of the nation's sovereignty would be enhanced.
From 24 students to 70, it's a major milestone for the college, and all kudos to the support we are receiving from our boss, the Chief of Army Staff. Facility-wise, I think we are doing well.
Serving and retired logisticians handled different sessions of the training and assessment. In Lagos, Samuel Johnson, NTA News.
Away from the army now, historical and cultural relationship between Nigeria and the United States of America in the area of the creative and performing arts is further strengthened as the Morehouse Glee Club is embarking on a tour of 3 cities in Nigeria. This is to celebrate the 50th anniversary of its tour of Nigeria. Gift George has the details of activities heralding the tour.
The American creative industry over the years has been influenced by Black African artists, especially from Nigeria, right from the colonial era. This has also influenced African American music, culture, and performing arts, infusing the original African genre of music. This the Morehouse Glee Club thrived on in his first visit to Nigeria in 1972 by connecting with his African roots. 50 years later, several choral groups in America now sing in various Nigerian languages.
We use as African Americans originates from West Africa, originates from Nigeria. So being able to morph that into what we have in the United States and bring that back to you all so we can learn from each other has been rich and is important to keep our history as black people alive.
The tour, therefore, provides a platform for cultural exchange between Nigeria and the United States of America in the creative arts.
Music, including spirituals, work songs, sorrow songs, all kinds of things began to develop as we create this hybrid thing or this culture that's called African American. And so just because they came to a strange land didn't mean that they abandoned being African.
In celebrating the 50 years anniversary of the Morehouse Glee Club tour for Nigeria, 40 students will collaborate with some Nigerian choirs for some choral performances.
You'll hear music from the Western European tradition as well as music from the African American tradition and some African songs.
The tour will see the group go to Enugu, Abuja and Lagos. Gifts George, NTA News.
That's our contribution from here. Before we go, let's remind you to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social.
Ever-busy ancient city of Onitsha is a commercial hub with millions of commuters seamlessly linking other states daily for business, leisure, and other purposes. To upscale its road network, the construction of a 1.6-kilometer long second Niger Bridge, including a 10.3-kilometer highway furnished with other infrastructure, has been in motion by the federal government. This project will ease congestion on the existing 56-year-old Onitsha Bridge and boost the economic capacity of the state as it easily connects to other parts of the country. The completion of the world-class second Niger Bridge Onitsha will be one of the many proud moments of the state, its people, Nigerians, and foreign investors. Onitsha, which hosts the largest market in Africa, is geared up to boast of an impressive road network. Once again, these moments are made alive by the federal government and it is deserving of all the applause.
Harmony of biodiversity destroyed, both in climate crisis and crime phases.
Dicey situation indeed, yet we carry on like a bull in a china shop.
On environment matters, we take the bull by the horns, comb the nooks and cranny of Nigeria.
Asking tough questions.
Examining challenges and opportunities.
Giving human face to the science, facts, facts, and global agreements. It's a call for action. Don't miss it.
Join award-winning environmental journalist Jennifer Igwe and other NTA Eco reporters for Environment Matters.
The broadcast media ecosystem is dynamic and requires continuous training for practitioners to perform optimally. NTA Television College, JOS, invites relevant officers to the following specially packaged training programs. Intermediate Online News Reporting Skills, date 13th July to 5th August 2022, 4 weeks. Sports Coverage and Reporting Skills in the Mass Media, date 13th July to 22nd July 2022, 2 weeks. Basic Camera Operation Techniques, date 1st August to 26th August 2022, 4 weeks. Advanced Broadcast Accounting and Auditing, date 15th August to 9th September 2022, 4 weeks. Transmitter Operations and Maintenance, date 22nd August to 26th August 2022, 1 week. Workforce Intelligence, Key to Organizational Effectiveness and Efficiency, date 5th September to 16th September 2022, 2 weeks. The course fee for 1 week courses is 100,000 Naira per participant. The fee for 2 weeks courses is 150,000 naira, while the course fee for 4 weeks courses is 180,000 naira only, accommodation inclusive. The venue for all courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA Television College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-9809-807. NTA TV College Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
Lalo, Nigeria are the 9th champions in this competition.
The 12th edition of the Africa Women's Cup of Nations is here with 12 teams including reigning champions and 9-time winners, Super Falcons of Nigeria, all in contention from July 2 to 23 in Rabat, Morocco. You can catch all the actions live on the NTA Network Service and NTA Sports 24, channel 270 on StarTimes, 434 on StarSat and 731 on Free TV. Come, join us to promote another championship run by the Super Falcons. For your advert placement, please call Hawa on 0803-312-1022. Africa Women's Cup of Nations, Rabat 2022. Game on!
For staying tuned and glad to have you join us here in Kaduna on Nationwide. As part of the ongoing reform in the Nigerian Immigration Service for effective performance and enhanced productivity, sets of block of flats have been inaugurated to provide decent and conducive accommodation for officers and men. The inauguration was performed by the Comptroller General, Nigerian Immigration Service, with a pledge to accord greater attention to the welfare of staff. Haruna Muhammad reports.
This is the first time in the history of Nigerian Immigration Service Kaduna State Command, men and officers are being provided with blocks of flats for accommodation as a means of motivation. 20 sets of one-bedroom flat, each consisting of master bedroom, kitchen, convenience and a sitting room. Inaugurating the project, Comptroller General said provision of decent accommodation for personnel is part of his priority.
May we continue to strive higher and higher.
This, he said, will accelerate performance among officers and men of the service.
This is part of the welfare package of President CGI, Alhaji Idris Isajiri. This is part of his welfare package. And like I said, to whom much is given, much is expected. So we urge them to work harder. There's always a reward.
He called on beneficiaries to imbibe maintenance culture so that the building can last long. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Modeling responsible youth that can be productive for the good of Nigeria is the thrust of a one-day lecture organized by the Nigerian Medical Students Association Northwest Zone. Ibrahim Bello reports that the event was held in Dutse, Jigawa State.
The twin lectures had the themes: the role of media as a tool for better nation and the menace of drug abuse among students and youth. The way forward. They were delivered by the General Manager NTA Dutse, Abdullahi Garba Birnin Kudu, and Adeni Idris of the NDLEA.
We have better role to play in terms of improving healthcare delivery. We are not medical personnel, but we have specialized reporters who are trained in such kind of fields.
Telling them that drug abuse is a problem all over the world and that human beings can live without using drugs. But when they're coming out of this problem.
The President, Federal University Dutse Medical Student Association Mustafa Ilyasu Jahun, and other regional leaders of the association described the topic and presentations as apt, considering realities today. They highlight the place of youth and the future of any society.
It will lead to active participation of students. Because
unfortunately, we seem to be having technical hitches from our Kaduna Network Center. We apologize for that. Let's now talk about ongoing efforts aimed at lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty, which the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has done by empowering 50 vesicovaginal fistula patients in Kano State with 30,000 naira as startup grants to become economically viable in the society. Muhammad Ali reports.
According to the recent statistics by the World Health Organization, Nigeria accounts for 40% of the worldwide fistula prevalence, with approximately 12,000 new cases every year. To reduce the hardship being faced by VVF patients and reintegrate them into society, the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development rolled out empowerment and psychosocial support and trained in fish farming, groundnut oil extraction, soap making, tailoring, among others.
We appreciate federal government support. With the training I receive of perfume making, will be an employer of labor.
While presenting the donation of 30,000 naira to each of the beneficiaries as starter pack, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Sadia Umar Farouk, represented, says the federal government is committed to improving the quality of mental health services in the country. Hence, stemming the tide of fistula is key.
The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs is doing the right thing by not only focusing on communities or community problems, but also on problems that affect individuals.
The VVF survivors are mostly peasant, petty traders and housewives. Muhammad Ali, NTA News.
To Labour matters now. The Central Working Committee of the Nigeria Labour Congress is urging the federal government to urgently find a lasting solution to the lingering insecurity, fuel scarcity, poor power supply currently taking a toll on business productivity across sectors, as well as the ongoing university strike. The call was made at the National Executive Council meeting of the NLC, which centered on the state of the nation. Emmanuel Ayemiro reports.
Today, as we speak, diesel is selling for more than 800 naira per liter. This is really an unfortunate situation, and therefore it has affected productivity. Many of them are actually closing businesses, and many workers are losing their jobs.
To save the economy and put it back on track by making all components work optimally is the reason for this meeting of the Central Working Committee of the NLC. Other issues raised bordered on reconstitution of the Joint National Public Service Negotiation Council to begin the process of salary review, which last took place in 2009.
We shouldn't confuse the minimum wage with salary review. Salary review is a different bargaining process, and therefore is long overdue. And with the challenges of in the economy, where the purchasing power of ordinary workers have been eroded, and the minimum wage cannot even take us home, we will make a formal demand on behalf of the Joint Public Service Negotiating Council for the review of wages.
In a related development, the Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees, NOLGE, is urging other states to emulate Kogi and Abia Houses of Assembly that recently passed Local Government Autonomy Bill.
It is time to fix Nigeria. And you can't fix Nigeria without fixing the foundation. And the foundation of Nigerian growth is local government system.
Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, IPMAN, Suleja branch, is on a one-week warning strike in protest of non-payment of accumulated bridging claims. Lydia Sampson reports.
Briefing journalists in Abuja, the association said its members are not only operating at a loss, but some are already out of business.
We are marketers that serve Niger State, Kogi State, Nasarawa State, some part of Kaduna State, and Abuja. We are going to embark on industrial action for non-payment of our independent petroleum marketers bridging claims.
They lamented that claims from the former Petroleum Equalization Fund inherited by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has not been paid. They allege that the non-payment of claims has led to inadequate product transportation by its members, leading to heightened scarcity of petrol in Abuja and its environs.
This strike is a warning strike. And if care is not taken, we are going to continue till further notice.
From what NNPC and all other people have been saying, there is a non-product at Lagos. But we don't have trucks that are serviceable enough for us to bring this product to this place and sell to you.
The group claim it is in charge of Niger, Nasarawa and Kogi states as well as Abuja environs, as at the time of packaging this report, efforts to get a response from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority proved abortive. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
Still on the matter, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority says its attention has been drawn to allegations made by the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Suleja branch on product scarcity as a result of non-payment of bridging claims. A statement by the authority assures IPMAN of its willingness to continue paying outstanding claims to promote seamless operations in line with agreed templates. The statement adds that 10 billion naira additional payment has been made in June in line with the upward review approved by President Muhammadu Buhari, and the agency remains committed to efficiently conducting midstream and downstream petroleum operations. To security matters now. The disturbing happenings in parts of the country's territorial borders and growing internal security threats have challenged the Nigerian Legion Corps commissioners to think outside the box on surmounting the situation. Abubakar Usman Akwanga was at a high-level security engagement and leadership forum to reposition the Legion for national stability and now reports.
These are yesterday's heroes who risked their lives for today's future to be possible, but many years after, the narrative still leaves much to be desired. Now they are willing to recall that yesterday with nostalgia, but not as fighters of the enemies of state, but as strategists of ending social unrest and war. These handshakes are not just an expression of changing leadership, but also a demonstration of the popular saying that soldier may go and come, but barracks remains gallant.
I believe the narrative will change for the better with the emergence of retired military experts who have been well trained home and abroad in all aspects of security management. Our military is overstretched with so many activities. We have a lot of things to do, but it is how do we present ourselves. People don't know us outside because we don't shout. We wear our own crown and shout.
The Legion is asking for more interventions to enhance operations and spread its tentacles across the length and breadth of Nigeria, leaving one with the thought of old soldier never die. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Niger State government has confirmed the invasion by terrorists of a mining site at Ajata Aboki village via Gurmana ward of Shiroro local government area, saying a joint security team has been mobilized to the scene in response to a distress call. A statement by the Niger State Commissioner for Internal Security and Humanitarian Affairs, Emmanuel Umaru, indicates that the joint security team have engaged the terrorists, recording a number of casualties from both sides, with an unspecified number of workers and 4 Chinese nationals reportedly abducted. The state government acknowledges the efforts of security operatives and the communities towards stemming insecurity in Niger State, with Governor Abubakar Sani Bello directing the security agencies to go all out to ensure the safe return of the kidnapped victims. The delays caused by several adjournments, cost of litigation, and the cumbersome process of resolving judicial disputes in Nigeria have warranted a paradigm shift towards less cumbersome processes of settling disputes among litigants. The National Judicial Council, NJI, has therefore taken the bull by the horn by initiating a training for judges and Sharia judges, or Qadis, manning the superior courts to record the use of alternative dispute resolution for the settlement of judicial disputes. The administrator of the institute, Justice Salisu Garba, says adopting alternative dispute resolution remains a cardinal pillar of the multi-door court system being championed by the Nigerian judiciary.
The modern time has become a cause of concern for many in Nigeria. Hence, the need to return to the litigant to settle alternative dispute resolution while the law provides. ADR, more often than not, is patterns of conventional litigation. You need to update your knowledge on ADR mechanism, practice of procedure, which, when appropriately deployed in adjudication, will not only fast-track our justice system, but mitigate hardships encountered in litigation, as well as promote win-win situation for parties involved in a matter.
Alternative dispute resolution is already in operation in several jurisdictions in the country. And now let's see what reports Chinenye has for us in Enugu. Hello, Chinenye.
Thank you so much, Naja Atu. Welcome to Enugu. There is need for all to work in tandem with government and relevant authorities to stem the rising state and undesirable activities of street beggars in Enugu metropolis. Chika Ugu reports that this was the resolution of participants at a town hall meeting organized by the Enugu State Justice Reform Team and other key players on the eradication of street begging in Enugu.
Maintenance of street beggars is making people uncomfortable and insecure, especially now that social vices are on the increase. The fear that they may turn into gang of miscreants and criminals if something is not done to nip this developing ugly trend in the bud made it expedient for the Enugu State Justice Reform Team to set up a committee to eradicate street begging.
The essence of this meeting
The facilitator of the program, AJ Ofia, who was represented, said requires legislative advocacy, legal framework, and rehabilitation of beggars to stem the rising tide.
The outcome of this town hall meeting will be utilized in the evolving strategy for actualizing these objectives.
It was a meeting which attracted staff from the Ministry of Gender Affairs and Social Development, Ministry of Environment and Mineral Resources, and some non-governmental organizations. Clips reeled out at the program showed how beggars are gradually taking over major streets and markets in the metropolis. Participants came to a conclusion that to eradicate street begging, government needs to go steps further than providing them with shelter and skill acquisition programs, which have failed over the years, and fish out their supposed sponsors. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
The Enugu State government has set up an 8-member committee to coordinate the implementation of the recommendations of the 12 sectorial committees that articulated necessary reforms in the state public service. Inaugurating the committee, Secretary to the state government, Professor Simon Otuanya, said the move is part of the efforts at repositioning the state public service for optimum service delivery.
The process of rejigging the Enugu State Public Service and other sectors of the state economy began several months ago with the setting up of 12 sectoral committees that have since submitted their recommendations on the way forward. Now, the 8-member committee just inaugurated is to follow through on the recommendations of the 12 sectoral committees that reviewed and articulated reforms in the policies, programs, structures and operations of the state public service for better service delivery.
It is my prayer that you will ready to reform while experiencing this assignment and all prepare our state to an enviable life while living medical lives in the sands of time.
On behalf of the Implementation Coordination Committee, the chairman, Dr. Kingsley Ude, promised that the team will deliver on its mandate.
These are women and men of professional expertise that are relevant for this assignment to all the body human resources to ensuring that this work is done well.
Sectors reviewed by the sectoral committees include the state internally generated revenue and international development partners funding, lands, transport, among others. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at www.nta.ng/live and all our social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. We'll take another break here. Nationwide will continue with Naja Atu in Abuja after this break. This day.
Why should we be in a difficult situation financially?
Once upon a time we were rich, but we're not a rich country anymore.
Disaster management is everybody's business.
In all these times, the organization turned to Nigeria.
We would as much want to harness the capacity that is within us so that we see how we can become self-reliant.
1 month ended and you said you are increasing warning strike by 2 months. I mean, you are incubating madness.
Even if these are officials of government who have been told to go and enforce the law and they have gone against the law itself, they must be held accountable.
One-on-One, Friday, 10:30 p.m. on NTA Network. From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.regiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Motlalo, Nigeria are the 9th champions in this competition.
The 12th edition of the Africa Women's Cup of Nations is here with 12 teams including reigning champions and 9-time winners, Super Falcons of Nigeria, all in contention from July 2 to 23 in Rabat, Morocco. You can catch all the actions live on the NTA Network Service and NTA Sports 24, channel 270 on StarTimes, 434 on StarSat and 731 on Free TV. Come, join us to promote another championship round by the Super Falcons. For your advert placement, please call Hawa on 0803 312 1022. Africa Women's Cup of Nations, Rabat 2022. Game on!
It's nice to know you're still watching Nationwide. On the legislative front, the House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill seeking the establishment of an electoral offences tribunal in Nigeria. The bill also seeks the establishment of a National Electoral Offences Commission with provisions for investigation and prosecution of electoral offences towards the general improvement of the electoral process in the country for sanity and credibility. The bill, sponsored by House Leader and 4 other members, is critical and of significance to the amended Electoral Act 2022. To party matters now. Having lost out in the June 18 Ekiti governorship election, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) says it has gone back to the drawing board to strategize towards winning the July 16 governorship election in Osun State. This was at the inauguration of the PDP National Campaign Council for the coming election. Timothy Yusuf reports.
It's a 128-member National Campaign Council chaired by the Governor of Bayelsa State, Doye Diri, who was absent at this event. The party's Vice Presidential candidate and Governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, and his Taraba counterpart, Darius Ishaku, were however present at the inauguration, presided over by the Deputy National Chairman North, Umar Damagun, on behalf of the PDP National Chairman, Yocha Ayu.
We have a very popular candidate in Osun. We have no reason not to bring back Osun.
And we will go all out there to ensure that we have victory for our party. If you get to Osun, if there are any difficulties, you may have to break down into different cells to negotiate and come with an agreement.
Members of the National Campaign Council resolved to work hard towards ensuring victory for the party's candidate, Senator Adebola Adeleke, who is contesting the position for the second time.
We will work with the campaign council to make sure that victory is achieved.
The Osun State governorship election is slated for July 16, 2022. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
As part of preparations towards next year's general elections, the Northwest women leaders of the All Progressives Congress have embarked on women sensitization in the zone towards ensuring their effective participation in the process. Flagging off the sensitization in Katsina, the APC Deputy National Women Leader Zainab Abubakar Ibrahim called on women to register and obtain their PVCs to enable them contribute to electing credible leaders in 2023. Shehu Adamu reports.
Accompanied by the wife of the Katsina State Governor and APC women leaders from the Northwest, the Deputy National Women Leader of the All Progressive Congress, Zainab Abubakar Ibrahim, interacted with market women and other women groups across Katsina State. She urged the women on the need to obtain their permanent voters card and shun all forms of election violence.
I am also calling on those who migrated from one part of the country to another, calling on refugees, those whose voter cards are lost or damaged, and those younger ones that do not attain the age of 18 during the last exercise to equally use this window of registration and obtain their PVC.
Please, if you don't have that voter card, please try and get. Tell your neighbor, tell your aunties, tell your brothers.
Representatives of various women groups commended the National Women Leadership of the All Progressive Congress for the sensitization and pledged to step down the campaign to the grassroots to enable women participate actively in the 2023 general elections. The entourage later visited Katsina Local Government Office of the Independent National Electoral Commission to monitor the conduct of the continuous voter registration exercise, during which wife of the Katsina State Governor Hadiza Aminu Masari updated her voter's card. In Katsina, Shehu Adamu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National Population Commission has assured Nigerians and the international community of its readiness to conduct a credible population and housing census next year. The Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission, Benue State Kupchi Patricia, gave the assurance at a training workshop for field personnel on the trial census for the 2023 population and housing census in Makudi. Ashezi Gopep reports.
Trial census, also known as the census dress rehearsal, is one of the pre-census activities, a process in which all census operations will be tested in a detailed and comprehensive manner. It is to ensure the exercise does not lose focus that this workshop is held to properly train enumerators and supervisors at the state level to be taught rudiment alongside the necessary skills with practical demonstrations of operations in the field.
The Commission has introduced new technologies such as the Census Pad and CS Pro to ensure that the upcoming trial census serves as a good rehearsal that will make the 2023 population and housing census credible, reliable, and acceptable.
Key players and officials of the Commission are of the view that the training workshop will create a platform towards fully equipping a solid manpower for the exercise.
Be very sincere with whatever you are going to do in the field. In every human endeavor, you always find challenges. And your ability to adapt and surmount those challenges makes you who you are. We are confident that you are patriotic Benue State citizens as citizens of Nigeria, and you are going to do just that.
In Makurdi, Ashezigu Pep, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the taking over of Lafia Airport by the federal government to serve as an alternative to the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Governor Abdullahi Sule gave the cheerful news in Lafia. Aliu Tijani reports.
Lafia Airport, conceived and constructed by the previous administration of Senator Umaru Tanko Almakura and now completed by the present administration in the state. President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurated the airport earlier this year with flight operation on stream. In view of its viability and proximity to the nation's capital, Abuja, and the request by the National State Government for its takeover by the federal government, President Buhari speedily granted the approval.
And we kept trying to say we have every justification for Mr. President to take it over. One, the Army Special Forces for the whole country is in Duma, and they need an airport. The Air Force Special Forces for the North Central, their headquarters is actually in Lafia. That's the Air Force forces that we have here.
Also, federal government is to refund all money spent in the construction of the airport to the state government. While addressing the Alago stakeholders in Lafia, Governor Sule describes the development as a good omen to the state. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
Similarly, Cross River State Government is set to acquire a third aircraft to boost airline services, with Governor Ben Ayade saying efforts are on course to secure the air operator certificate before December. That report will come in our subsequent bulletin. To Ondo State, where the government has commenced the registration of commercial motorcyclists in the 18 local council areas of the state to strengthen the state government's efforts at stemming insecurity. Abiola Ario reports.
The need for a new registration of commercial motorcyclists in Ondo State became necessary due to the influx of motorcyclists into the state after the registration conducted in 2018, and as well as check the rate of crime allegedly perpetrated on a daily basis by Okada riders. Senior Special Assistant to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu on special duties explained that the biometric registration would cover use of jackets, tickets and color code for each senatorial district for proper identification.
For this jacket, it's very, very important. The number you find on the top will be synchronized with the ID card given each operator. If you are not resident in Ondo State, in Akure, none of the 18 local governments, we are not going to allow you operate in Ondo State.
Dr. Debowale said after the exercise, all motorcycles without number plates would be impounded. In Akure, Abiola Ario, NTA News.
Let's now join our sports desk for updates.
The Confederation of African Football, CAF, is considering postponing the 17th edition of Africa Cup of Nations, scheduled for June 23rd to July 23rd, 2023 in Côte d'Ivoire. Major cities of the host country are experiencing heavy rains with floods, and CAF admits that scheduling the competition in the middle of the rainy season may not be a right idea. The subject is expected to be on the menu of the 44th Ordinary General Assembly of CAF, due for August 10 in Arusha, Tanzania. In athletics, over 15,000 athletes from within and outside Nigeria are expected to compete in the maiden 42 kilometers Abuja International Marathon slated for 17 December this year, as modalities are being put in place for a successful event.
And ensure that we have a world-class race that will sell FCT and Nigeria to the world as a tourist destination, place to invest and do business.
Our goal is to build a second-to-none marathon brand with the Abuja International Marathon.
In the Wimbledon Championships, two-time champion Petra Kvitova overcame a late wobble to beat an Aboriginal of Romania 6-1, 7-6 and set up a third-round encounter with fourth seed Paula Badosa, who beat Irina Barra 6-3, 6-2. 32-year-old Kvitova is one of just 3 former champions left in the women's singles draw, along with 2019 champion Simona Halep and 2018 winner Angelique Kerber. Meanwhile, Spainer Roberto Bautista Agut has become the third big name in the men's singles draw after Milan Cilic and Matteo Bellettini to withdraw from the championships after testing positive for COVID-19. Bautista Agut, a former world number 9 who was seeded 17th, was due to play Daniel Garan of Colombia in the second round on Thursday. With sports updates, Chukunonsonwa Boeza, NTA News.
That concludes the news on Nationwide this Thursday. Thanks for watching. Remember to keep supporting NTA's campaign against rape and rapists. I'm Najat Tijani.
With the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information